What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you my review plus on-feet video of a pair of boots that are technically unreleased but already unveiled. And of course, I'm talking about the Youngblood Pack colorway of the Nike Phantom Vision Elite. Now, going back about 3.5 weeks when Nike first launched this shoe, if you saw any of the press release pictures, they actually showed off this colorway along with two others. The first one to release, the Blackout Stealth Ops pack, and then of course the one that just came out, the pure platinum and orange raised on concrete color. But this is actually coming out as well. Not until August 23rd though, at least that's according to Nike. So we're still about 3.5-4 weeks away from these being available to the public. But given that they're already unveiled and I was able to get my hands on them early, I figured I'd make a video to show you guys because they are definitely unusual in comparison to the other two colors that Nike has put out so far. So if you want to learn more about these, we're going to take a closer look at all the details, talk tech specs, performance features, as well as take a look at how they fit and feel on feet. If you want to learn more, please stick around, watch the entire video. And if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $275 retail price in about 3 weeks. Right now, you'll find links to the other ones. But when they're available, there will be links. So if you're watching this video in 3 weeks, the links are there. If you guys do end up enjoying the video and appreciate an early look at this unreleased colorway, don't forget to support this one with a like. And if you're new here watching for the first time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. Included with the boots, as you'll get with all the elite tier models from Nike now, is a silver Nike box rather than an orange one. Also, because this is a top-end Nike model, they include a string bag, which happens to be in matching colors. So you'll find this team red, which is basically like a maroon burgundy color for the majority of the bag and the strings. Then you're gonna find the silver triangle to match the boots. And then the Phantom Vision branding and the Nike swoosh is in kind of this pinkish orange color as an accent. Actually, I really like this string bag. I happen to think that the string bag might be better looking than the boots themselves in this particular colorway. So my overall string bag rating is a 1.7 out of 2.15. So let's start with the colorway itself, which I happen to think is kind of unusual. I'm still kind of on the fence about this particular color, but I do want to address one thing, and that is the fact that this is called the Youngblood Pack color, which begs the question, is there going to be a full Youngblood Pack release across all the different lines from Nike? Given that these aren't supposed to come out until the end of August, and given the fact that Nike generally releases a brand new colorway pack almost every month, they just launched the Raised on Concrete pack, so come the end of August, it wouldn't surprise me if they launched the Youngblood Pack colorways as well. So I think that this won't be a standalone color, it'll be an entire pack across the entire Nike line. Either way, you're gonna find that this features a combination of 3 main colors. Team Red, which is basically this burgundy maroon color. Then you have a silver, kind of 2 shades of silver, a lighter silver and then a darker, almost gunmetal color, mainly in the swoosh, because you can see the triangle on the medial side is straight silver. Same for the sole plate. Then you have an accent of this kind of orangish pink color for the little branding details, the laces. That's kind of a little bit more muted. It kind of looks like it's faded already. And then the stud tips themselves. Now, my issue here is not so much the color combo, but more so the fact that they went with a solid Nike skin covering. If you look at the pure platinum colorway, they did pure platinum Flyknit and then a clear translucent Nike skin covering over top. So you can actually see the Flyknit pattern underneath, which of course maintains the same color across the entire upper. They could have done that with this shoe because you can see the exposed Flyknit for the lace cover is that burgundy color, but instead they covered it up with solid Nike skin, which has a matte finish, and I just think looks a lot cheaper than if they were just go for something translucent and have the burgundy Flyknit make for the color of the upper. That's just a personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comments though. Then you of course have the silver detailing, and honestly I think that the maroon and silver looks quite good. It reminds me a lot of an older TIEMPO colorway that I actually, let me show you. These are what I'm talking about. This is the Nike TIEMPO Legend 3 Elite in the Team Red color, carbon fiber sole plate and all. I happen to think that this is an extremely good looking boot. When I saw these in person for the first time, it immediately reminded me of this particular colorway, which is not a bad thing. Although I think these look a lot better than these do mainly based on what they did with accents. Honestly, I wish they wouldn't have gone with this accent color. I think if they just kept it straight silver and burgundy, it would have looked a lot cleaner. This just adds that little bit of extra detail that I think goes a little bit too far. 2 colors rather than 3, I think would have made these look a lot cleaner. And then of course it does have the silver plastic sole plate, just like the raised on concrete ones. No wearable finish, but you can see that it does have a little bit of kind of a shininess to it. Either way, I don't think it's a bad looking colorway, but out of the 3 that we've seen so far, this is probably my least favorite. Let me know what you guys think though down below in the comments. So the upper is made up of 2 main components, an external Flyknit layer and an internal Quadfit system. You can see the branding right there. Can't really show it to you all that well, but this is what it looks like inside of this Flyknit upper. It's basically an internal sock that is made out of what feels like a Kevlar type material. You can kind of see it if I open the boot up just enough. It's kind of like a silver color, and basically it's a very special type of yarn slash material slash whatever whatever it is. I don't really know. Nike doesn't really specify exactly, but it's knitted in such a way that when you tie the laces tight, it really hugs your foot and holds it in place without any kind of solid structure around your foot. So you'll notice with this shoe that it's very soft, it's very flexible, and there's nothing really stiff about the material. But when you tie the laces tight, when the shoes are on your feet, there's a remarkable amount of structure while still maintaining that sock-like comfort and flexibility. That's what makes the Phantom Vision so unique in comparison to anything else on the market and really anything else that has ever existed. Now on top of that internal Quadfit system, you're gonna find their Ghost lacing system, which is made up of basically 3 lacing positions on either side, where there is this little nylon strap where the lace is attached directly to that Quadfit system. Tie the laces tight, it secures the Quadfit system around your foot and makes for optimal lockdown. This is not a laceless boot, and I would not recommend wearing them without the laces. In fact, in Nike's press release, they really stress how the laces are absolutely crucial to the performance, lockdown, and really the effectiveness of this internal Quadfit system. Of course, those laces are covered up by a lace cover, which is why they call it the Ghost lacing system. Ghost because you can't see it. And then the parts you can see, the Flyknit on top, that consists of the lace cover, and then basically a thin layer of Flyknit for the entire upper of the shoe. That's not really the whole story though. The Flyknit, along with the Quadfit, 2 layers of material, end up being relatively thin. So the touch on the ball, being that this did replace the Nike Magista Obra 2, is a little bit thinner, not quite as padded at all, but you will definitely notice as a significant difference in comparison to, again, anything else out there right now, is the very significant micro texturing across the entire foot, aside from across the top of the laces where you have this stretchy Flyknit material. It's a micro texturing that almost feels like a really gritty sandpaper when you run your fingers along it, and actually provides a tremendous amount of extra grip on the ball. That is flowing throughout the entire parts of the upper, or all the parts of the upper that have this Nike skin covering, and then it's intensified in this triangle zone in silver, where you'll find that same micro texturing at the base, and then even heavier texturing on top of that. So lots and lots of extra grip on the ball without really adding any extra bulk. I wouldn't necessarily put this on the same level as an Adidas Predator, an old school one with the rubber elements, or even a Nike T90 model with the rubber elements, but it's very close in regards to the amount of extra grip that you're getting, but again, without adding extra bulk on your feet. The boots also feature ACC all conditions control, which honestly I don't think does all that much. What you will notice though, especially in wet weather, is because of that micro texturing, you do legitimately get extra grip on the ball. Whether or not you want to credit ACC for that, that's completely up to you. At the rear of the shoe, you'll find that this is basically a low-cut construction, but sadly it doesn't look like we're going to get a low-cut variation of this boot. Take the collar away or just simply tuck it in, as you can see, and the boot would basically be a low. But because mid-cuts are very popular right now, they added this extension piece in the form of a Flyknit collar that's completely different than the other collars we've seen from Nike to this point, in that it's very soft, very flexible, and essentially you do not notice it whatsoever. There's no stiffness to it, and the fit and construction of the heel is that of a low-cut shoe. So there's really nothing to get used to, a lot more comfortable than any other mid-cut model from Nike, especially out of the box. And if you're wondering about just cutting the collar off, I really wouldn't recommend it, because it does actually flow across the top of the foot, basically acting as a tongue or giving you that slight bit of padding across the top of the foot where the laces are positioned. Otherwise, they would be digging directly into the top of your foot, which might not be the most comfortable thing in the world. You'll find at the very back, it does have an internal plastic heel counter, which is nothing out of the ordinary. And then internally, as far as a liner is concerned, it's a nice synthetic suede with a decent amount of padding. actually a really nice heel liner. The insole is of course fully removable and is kind of a variant of what we see from the Nike TIEMPO Legend 7 Elite, especially with what you'll find at the base, a single layer of this yellow foam and then pour-on inserts in the forefoot big toe area as well as under the heel. So underfoot cushioning is actually pretty decent. It's a relatively durable insole as well because of those pour-on inserts. The liner is a really nice synthetic suede, and you will also find the Nike Grip insole technology branding. What exactly that is, I honestly do not know, because they put that same logo on all their insoles of top-end models, even though they all have completely different liners that feel totally different from each other. So I really don't think that's much of a thing at all, kind of like ACC. But as far as removable insoles go, this is actually the nicest one currently on offer from the Nike brand. Moving to the base of the shoe, you'll find a sole plate that looks to be very different in regards to design versus the Over 2 that this replaces, but the overall feel is quite similar. Good flexibility, pretty regular plastic construction, nothing too fancy here at all, but it gets the job done, feels nice and solid underfoot. And then you have the firm ground stud pattern, which is completely revamped in comparison to the Magistas, basically much more aggressive. This is the closest thing to a Mercurial that you'll not only find within the Nike brand, but really from any brand right now. It's a very aggressive firm ground stud pattern with this, I guess, trio of bladed studs right here at the big toe area. And then all the other studs are kind of like this bladed conical stud hybrid that end up feeling more like bladed studs in regards to how they dig in and really provide plenty of bite when pushing off. You have the one support stud in the middle and then bladed studs at the heel as well. Very aggressive stud pattern, and while not for everybody, I much prefer this over what they were doing previously with the Magistas. And then there's the weight, and I realize that this is not marketed as a speed boot. It certainly doesn't look like a speed boot in my opinion, and I'm not really sure where Nike is going with the marketing direction of this shoe at this point in time. I guess it's kind of a control boot, but it kind of isn't at the same time. Either way, in a size 9.5 US, these guys weigh in at about 7.7 ounces, which is on par with most top-end models out there. Are there lighter options within the Nike brand? Absolutely. Technically, the Magista Ober 2 is slightly lighter than this, but the weight difference is extremely minimal. We're talking about 0.1, 0.2 ounces. You're not going to notice that on feet. Either way, if you're looking for something that simply does not feel heavy, these are going to provide that. If you want something super light, probably best to look elsewhere, but as long as you're not too picky about the weight, you're not gonna have any issues with these at all. Now, because these are mid-cut and because they have a lace cover and you don't have easy access to the lacing system, it can be a little bit tricky to put them on. What I would recommend doing is loosening the top part of the lacing system that you do have access to when you lift up the top part of the lace cover. And then from there, just use both hands to put them on as you would any other mid-cut shoe. I like to use both hands, both thumbs specifically, slide my foot in, and then use my back thumb to support that back heel counter that is made out of plastic. You don't want to bend that because if you bend it inwards, it can make the shoes uncomfortable long term and basically just ruin the way that they fit. Slide your foot in from there, adjust the collar around the edges, and then with the two ends of the laces that are sticking out, just pull them. It tightens the lacing system all the way down, and then just tie the laces. So on feet, the first thing that I noticed as being kind of unusual and really unique to this specific shoe is the way that they wrap your feet. There's so much structure to the shoe in terms of how solid it feels, but at the same time, there's no stiffness to it. And that really is all down to the Quadfit system. It really is unique in the way that it makes these shoes fit and feel. You get the structure without the stiffness because there really are no rigid materials to this upper at all. Very, very effective and definitely the best part of this Elite model in my opinion. As far as everything else is concerned, the Flyknit upper is relatively thin, it's flexible. Because this is a low cut shoe that looks like a mid cut, it fits like a low cut, which I think is more comfortable out of the box for most people, so you're unlikely to have any issues in the heel area, unlike other mid-cut models from Nike that have historically kind of had issues at the very back of your Achilles tendon. That's unlikely to happen with this particular shoe. And again, out of the box comfort, I would say is very good, which is what Nike was really preaching with the design of this particular boot. That's what they were going for, and they seem to have achieved that quite nicely. As far as the overall fit is concerned, width-wise, I would say that these are going to be suitable for most people. If you have really wide feet, maybe not the best option for you, and because of that internal quad fit system, basically having structure to it by way of the lacing system, once you secure it all together, it holds your foot. It's not really going to stretch all that much. So for the most part, the way they fit out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. And then of course, as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US. My feet are about a 9 1/4. and the fit and length is pretty much perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, not the greatest colorway in my opinion, not even the greatest looking boot in my opinion, but definitely a very good performer and a boot that I am personally a big fan of. I love the way the Quadfit system feels in terms of out of the box comfort for a knitted boot from Nike especially, or really any other brand for that matter. I think this is one of the most comfortable ones ever to be released. It's structured without feeling stiff on your feet, which is an extremely unusual but very positive sensation. I love the extra grip on offer here. The Flyknit feels very premium on feet as well. And the new SOLEPLATE stud pattern design I think is also a positive change too. So overall, I'm a big fan of the Phantom Vision Elite, and I think if you are interested in this model, I can highly recommend it if what I described sounds good to you. Anyways, guys, that is it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, when they come out, of course, first link down below, that'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $275 retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.